with Pineapple Papers, and I am back with July's sketch for Stretch Your Sketch video hop that there are a ton, like 20 of us doing. So I will put the sketch up here in the corner so that you can see it. And I went Tuesday morning and I found these Basil Basic papers, these lickety slippers, and they fold out, this page protector. I thought, oh, that is super cool. So it's an 8x6 and it folds out into an 8x12. So I thought this would be a fun starting point for this series. So my plan is to actually do the sketch here and the sketch here and maybe even the sketch here. So it's kind of going to be like a 3-in-1 process video today. So I hope you like it. So let's get started. Okay, so I am going to work on the center fold out first. And I do try to follow it pretty close to the sketch. Now, since it is a pocket page, I have decided that I am going to cut the 4 background pieces of paper just to make sure that they fit. And then I kind of know where to cut things so that I'm not going to have to worry about like having to cut my husband's head in half or something like that. So here I am looking at the papers and trying to decide which one I want for the background paper and which one I want for that banner. Now in the sketch, the photos are 4x3. And my photos end up fairly close to 4x3 after cutting them down. And I don't know how you guys cut banners. I see different people. I see them all try and like cut up the middle in the center and then cut, but I'm just lazy. I bend the corners till they touch and just cut at an angle, and it's good enough for me. They're not the greatest, but they're good enough. So I cut my pictures down. I am trying to put the bottom picture so that the seam of the page is going to be in between my son and my husband. And then the upper one, I definitely wanted it to be on both because I really felt like it needed that. So I do cut that just a little bit on the bottom. And so this is just us hanging out at Havasupai Falls because I could barely move. So that was basically as far as we could go. And so I just snapped a few pictures. I did take some washi tape and taped the 4 pieces together so that I could basically make it like a normal sheet because I wanted it to not feel like it was all separated. I just felt like it would be easier just to cut it apart then versus cutting it apart later. And it seemed to work out okay. I'm not sure that this is how I would do this again, but it does turn out well. So I did use the doily that was in the sketch along with a circular element. And I am going to use a circular element and a banner down at the bottom as well. And here's where I'm going to tape my picture down and then cut it and then line it back up and tape it. There was a lot of like relining it up, retaping it, that type of thing. So I even found a heart. This wood heart is pretty cute, I thought. And so I added that up in the corner. And here's where I cut these two pictures in half. So I am looking for a journaling spot. I can't have it go completely under the pictures like it is in the sketch because my page is only 8 inches long instead of the 12 like in the sketch. So that was a little challenging, but I felt like putting it over to the side works just as well. And I did speed up this video quite a bit because I do end up making 3 layouts. So I hope you enjoy that. So I'm going to add a few little tiny word stickers, and I'm going to slip it all in the page protector and see how it looks. And I am definitely happy with that. So I'll show you a little bit there. And sorry, it's so fast, but I didn't want you guys to get bored. So next I am going to do basically the front of the layout, and I decided to turn the sketch to the right. So similar idea, but now I have one photo and the sketch is turned. So this particular photo is from the natural spring, and it's just tapped right in, and the water tastes phenomenal. You just go in, and we filled up our camel packs, we filled up everything we cooked with it, we drank it straight. We didn't have to add any of those like chlorine tablets or anything. So now I have to take out these 2 pieces, and I just decided to use the background paper as it was. And instead of taping it on and then cutting it, I decided to cut it and then tape it on, which works out okay, but it wasn't quite where I had it originally. Now, I did notice that my photo covered up most of the banner, and that way I cut it in half. So here I thought, oh, I'm just gonna cut my photo just like I did the paper. Well, the problem is I cut it in the wrong spot, so I had to put it back together and then cut it again. So if you look close at it, you can tell that the photo is cut in 3 pieces, but I'm okay with that. I still do a cluster down there in the bottom. I am going to add my title, and it's going to say Wonder and then I grabbed a tiny word sticker, but that's not actually going to be the and. So in my 15 random items, I have this Wink of Stella, which I bought last year at convention and have never used. So I decided I would put it on the heart, but the problem with that was it didn't work. I couldn't get it to work, so it didn't make it on. So now I am embellishing the back, and it is a picture of my husband, and we're at that watering that natural spring to get the water. And this time I continued to turn the sketch, so now the banner is going to go the other way, and I used a big doily instead of the little doily, which I had trouble cutting and I had trouble taping down, and this doily just gave me all kinds of fits. So not that I learned from the last time that I cut the photo, but this time I cut the frame and I cut it a little short too, but I think it does work out in the end. So I do add a frame to the top to kind of balance it out, along with that heart-shaped clip. And I do end up popping my picture up just because it is sitting on that frame and I didn't want it to divot kind of inside. So I'm going to trim off those extra pieces of the doily and tape down my pictures, which this one I cut and it worked out just fine. So I'm going to add this Explore piece, and it's just a wood veneer piece. And so it is going to say Explore Paradise. So when you open up this to the back, it'll say Wonder and Explore Paradise. So the whole title of this page actually folds out, but you can look at the title on each page. So I'm going to have some close-ups for you. Hope you enjoyed this process. Please check out all the links below. Hop along with us and remember to wear your crown. We'll see you next time. Bye!